phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
Stetson Bennett's college football career is officially over. One in which he was a two-time college football playoff national champion, a two-time college football playoff national championship offensive MVP, a Burlsworth Trophy Award winner, second-team All-SEC member in 2022, and an SEC championship game MVP and winner in 2022. A college football career that is one that's less traveled, starting off as a walk-on, going to the JUCO route, coming back to the school he started off as a walk-on, winning a starting job, beating out a former five-star quarterback, and being a two-time national title winner is one that's never been done before. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the impossible rise of Stetson Bennett. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. To start this video off, I'm going to be taking it back to Pierce County High School in Blackshear, Georgia, where Stetson Bennett played high school football. Stetson Bennett, as a high school quarterback, he would start and appear in a total of 24 high school games, in which in his career he threw for 6,648 yards, completing 63% of his passes, 58 touchdowns to the air compared to 10 interceptions, and rushing for a career total of 1,037 yards, averaging 7 a carry and 17 total touchdowns on the ground. His best season came in his senior campaign, in which in 13 games played, he threw for 3,724 yards, 40 touchdowns through the air compared to 7 interceptions, while accounting for 490 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. Despite a productive high school football career, including a strong senior campaign along with going to camps where he tried to make himself stand out with a mailman hat on every camp that he went to, he would not be a highly regarded recruit in the class of 2017, as according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, Stetson Bennett IV was rated as a 2-star recruit, ranked as the 2,569th best player in the nation, and the number 104 pro-style quarterback in the entire class. Coming out of high school, Stetson Bennett held a total of 4 offers, all on the Division I level, but only 2 were on the FBS level. Those offers included Columbia, Georgia Southern, Mercer, and Middle Tennessee State. He would not accept any of these scholarship offers and instead would go to his dream school and walked on at Georgia. As a true freshman walk-on in the 2017 college football season at Georgia, Stetson Bennett unsurprisingly would not appear in a single game, effectively redshirting. However, he would end up transferring from Georgia at the very end of the college football season to transfer to Jones County Junior College. In his one lone season at Jones County Junior College, Stetson Bennett would have an up-and-down year as a starting quarterback. He appeared in 12 games and would throw for 1,820 yards, completing 56% of his passes, with 16 touchdowns to the air compared to 14 interceptions, while accounting for a total of 4 rushing touchdowns. As a JUCO recruit in the 2019 recruiting class, he ranked as a 3-star, number 166 player in the nation, and the number 6 pro-style quarterback. He would have one more offer this go-round compared to his days in high school, offers from Samford, Louisiana, Kent State, UMass, and the school he just transferred from, Georgia. And with another opportunity to go back to the school that he wanted to play for his entire life and wanted to be a starting quarterback for, this time as a scholarship player, Stetson would not turn it down, and he was once again a Georgia Bulldog. An interesting tidbit about Stetson Bennett coming out of the junior college ranks is that he actually had a 24/7 Sports scouting report where they had a projection and a player comparison. The projection was to be an FBS contributor, and the comparison that he had was to South Carolina quarterback Perry Orth. In Orth's college football career, he was primarily a backup quarterback the 5 seasons he was there at South Carolina. He did see a lot of playing time and was a starter one season for the Gamecocks in 2015, where he appeared in 12 games, completed 55% of his passes, threw for 1,929 yards, 12 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Let's get back to Stetson Bennett. Bennett was back with Georgia for the 2019 college football season, where he had a much more extended role with the Bulldogs offense, now as a scholarship player and higher on the depth chart than he was as a true freshman walk-on quarterback. In the 2019 season, he was a backup, appeared in 4 games in which he completed 74% of his passes, threw for 260 yards, 2 touchdowns to the air compared to 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. The 2020 season for Stetson Bennett is one that is quite interesting, as Stetson Bennett going into 2020 probably wasn't really expected to play that much or really to play at all, as Jamie Newman and JT Daniels were presumably expected to battle out for the starting job. Many people thought Jamie Newman was going to be the starter originally because he was going to be there first and know the offense longer. However, he opted out of the 2020 season, and JT Daniels wasn't quite ready to take over day one for Georgia because he wasn't exactly fully healthy and was still getting the playbook down, possibly. So it was going to be a quarterback battle for week 1 of the 2020 season between Dwayne Mathis and Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett would be the backup quarterback, but when Mathis was struggling a lot, Bennett would come in and he would be a starting quarterback for a little while during 2020 until JT Daniels ultimately got the starting job and ran away with it. Stetson Bennett, in the time that he actually played in as a starting quarterback for Georgia in 2020, he would have his moments of shine, but he would also have his moments where he was struggling. Overall, for the season, he completed 55% of his passes, threw for 1,179 yards, 8 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, along with 2 rushing touchdowns. Going into the 2021 season, Georgia had a lot of hype with JT Daniels and a team that had a lot of potential. A team that people thought was going to go to the College Football Playoff national title game, and one that could potentially even win it all. And half of that actually did come true. Georgia would win the national title in 2021. However, it wasn't under JT Daniels. JT Daniels was the starting quarterback in the beginning of the year, but when he fell down with injury, Stetson Bennett came in, and Stetson Bennett ultimately had a good year and did not lose the job at any point to JT Daniels, even though there were fans out there that wanted JT to play. And ultimately, Stetson Bennett, he got the job done. They may have not won the SEC, but they won the more important game versus Alabama, the national title game. For his redshirt senior season, he appeared in 14 games, completing 64% of his passes, throwing for 2,862 yards, 29 touchdowns to the air compared to 7 interceptions, along with 1 rushing touchdown and 259 total yards on the ground. The 2022 season is one that Stetson Bennett was going to be a for sure starting quarterback heading into the season in quite some time. There may not have been a time where Stetson Bennett has been a for sure starting quarterback since maybe he was at the junior college level, and if not then, the high school level, as not one year at Georgia he was ever supposed to be a starting quarterback heading in, and now it was finally his time to shine as the starting quarterback with no worries of ever being replaced at all by potentially JT Daniels, as the quarterbacks behind Stetson Bennett were all pretty young and inexperienced for 2022, and of course, he just had a good season and won a national title. His job's safe as it can be. In 2022, Stetson Bennett, he kept up his play. Georgia won another national title. They won the SEC. They went undefeated. Stetson Bennett, he made second team All-SEC and even was a Heisman finalist in which he finished 4th in voting. He completed 68% of his passes, threw for 4,127 yards, 27 touchdowns compared to 7 interceptions, and accounted for a total of 10 rushing touchdowns. If you look back at Stetson Bennett's high school ranking, his JUCO ranking evaluation, in which he was expected to be nothing more than just an FBS level backup at a Power 5 school, which early on in his Georgia career, it seemed like he was destined to be nothing more than just a backup, but ultimately, he would have a career, one that he submitted himself not only as a Georgia football legend, but one in college football that's going to be remembered down the line. I understand that some people don't like Stetson Bennett, but you can't disrespect what he did in his college football career. He lost 1 game in the final 2 years of his college football career as a starting quarterback. He's a 2-time college football playoff national champion, a 2-time college football playoff national championship offensive MVP, and was a Heisman finalist in 2022. as well as finishing his career with 8,428 passing yards, 66 passing touchdowns compared to 21 interceptions, and 14 total touchdowns on the ground in his career. What's next for Stetson Bennett in his football career is currently unknown, as the NFL draft is upcoming, but no matter what happens, he's forever going to be a Georgia legend and someone people will talk about in college football years down the road. Well guys, if you made this far in the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Be Kelly out.